And we are back. It's been a minute.
Finally.
Long hiatus,
Woo.
for the Prospects of the Land channel, but we're finally back. A lot has happened. Our last show, I want to say September 30th, as Nate told me
29th.
before, 29th before we went on. But we're back. A lot has changed. Obviously, the Guardians, their playoff run happened. We are deep into football season. We're with a new parent company. We'll cover all that. For right now, Nate, my co-host Nate Boat, with me week in, week out. Nate, how we doing? What's new in the world of Nate Boat?
Well, you are Taven McCauley, sir. Don't forget to introduce yourself. And
Yep,
below the
there it is.
both of us is Ethan Greenberg. Now, full-time? Can we call you full-time member?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. Full-time member of the show. And the first thing that we want to say is a big thank you to Jeremy Laraquente and the rest of the people over at Baseball Banter. Ethan, you got us started on all this, so we will give you all of the credit for getting us connected. We appreciate you, and we appreciate Jeremy for giving us the opportunity to do some Guardians coverage for the Baseball Banter broadcast. Ethan, thank you for joining the show, and thanks for getting everything jump-started here.
Oh, absolutely. You guys are my go-to when it comes to Guardians, baseball, the whole farm system. And when the opportunity arose with Baseball Banter and Jeremy, I said, I know some guys. And I immediately had to come to you, and I'm so glad that it's worked out, that you can be that you've been able to jump in and be a part of this. And I'm glad I could be part of this with you because, again, you guys have the down low, all the details, the nitty-gritty on what's going on in the farm system for the Cleveland Guardians, so much more than even I do. And actually, not even I do. No, I don't have a darn clue compared to you guys. So I am going to just defer to you on all of that, of course, and add in as I can. But again, glad this is all working out, and this is going to be a great program.
Well, Taven asked what's new with me. I mean, gosh, we're keeping real busy. High school basketball season in the state of Ohio has kicked off, so we're getting real excited about that. Already have one game of color commentary under my belt, so we're happy with that. High school football playoffs are still going on in the state. We have a local team that is in the Final Four for the first time ever. That's the Indian Lake Lakers. They actually made the playoffs for the first time as a program only back around 2015, and now they're in the Final Four. Head coach John Rapp, if somehow he's found this program, he's done an absolutely phenomenal job. But we're staying busy. It's a busy time of year. You know, hey, the Browns won today, so that we got to give a round of applause for that.
Wrist up.
There you go. Show the watch. It's Hate Week. We all love Hate Week. Sorry, Taven, it's 2-on-1 here.
No, you know what? I'll be impartial here. Look, it's gonna be. I'm just gonna lay it down. We're not gonna go into it. It's gonna be should be a great matchup.
Should be a great game.
Let's just see what happens. And if I think there's positives for both sides. I think if that team up north with the Michigan gets the win, I think they get in the playoffs. And if they don't win, then okay, Ohio State's going to the Big Ten championship. I don't know all the repercussions there, but it is going to be a very good game. I'm nervous. I don't like overconfident Buckeye fan. I don't like overconfident hating on Michigan fan. Stop. Let's
I agree.
And let's have a good game. But let's talk some baseball. First of all, Taven, what's going on with you, my man?
Yeah, Taven. Ethan, you got to tell us too.
Big busy in the Stark County football sports world over the past, 14, 15 weeks. It's
Crazy.
been nonstop. I've been following the McKinley Bulldogs, I would say, probably since week 5. I've only missed a game. And the run that they went on was special. I mean, they top 3 seed. Yeah, they lost to Massillon, but obviously they make a run. They lose to Mentor in a heartbreaker. I mean, they're up by 6 points. They got about a minute 40. Mentor scores down. They score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion. They go on to win that game. But it's just been a great year in Stark County football this entire year. Massillon, they were in the Elite 8 a couple of nights ago to Big Walnut. They lost another heartbreaker, literally down to last play. Manny Patterson got sacked on a strip sack. That kind of ended that one. But yeah, high school sports have just been they've been great here. Been real busy with that. Basketball's coming up. There's going to be a lot of powerhouse around here with that. You got McKinley. They're going to be awesome. Chance at state run, in my opinion, for them. Glen Oak, Ethan, they're going to be solid this year. And along with Hoover, they'll be those will probably be your 3 biggest teams to watch. Perry, they lost a lot. They have a chance to shock some people, maybe make another Cinderella run. We'll see when we get to March, but those are the powerhouses there. So, just been busy with Stark County sports.
That's awesome.
Ethan, what's new with you?
Oh, well, you know what? You know it all, Nate. No, I have been busy with my 18th season doing play-by-play for Randolph-Macon College's women's basketball team. Kicked off a couple weeks ago or so, and they had a tip-off tournament, so they hosted 3 other teams, 4 games, 2 days. My motor mouth has been running all weekend long. I'm excited to be back with them. They made it to the Sweet 16 last year. It was a phenomenal run. They won the conference tournament. Then it was just amazing. Still, we've got my podcast, Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land. We are doing that, and also been involved with this platform. Awesome, guys. We're going to have you on when Guardians season comes on, and maybe we'll have to have a 3-man team of an alternate play-by-play, an alt cast of sorts on Playback TV. I've been doing some alternate playback of the Cleveland Cavaliers games and having an awesome time with it, publishing clips and all that kind of stuff. So I am keeping my motor mouth busy. It has been fun. I am looking forward to Thanksgiving, looking forward to some turkey, some pumpkin pie, and all that good stuff. And hopefully there'll be a trip during the holidays back up north for a little visit.
Well, we all, I think, can be thankful for baseball. Ethan, by the way, the only one of us that we can ask, how are the wife and kids?
Oh, well, they're wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Hopefully I won't be annoying tonight. During my alternate play-by-play, it tends to get a little loud in here. I don't quite have the soundproofing. Nate, I'm going to need you to come down with professional studio stuff. Maybe Taven. We'll fix
You can come up here, man. That's a lot easier. I can't just pick up the sound booth. But for those who it may concern, Cavaliers are up 77-71. So pretty big matchup with the Clip Show. They've been struggling, man. Clippers have not been good this year at all. So thank you to those of you watching on YouTube. Thank you to those of you watching on Twitter, those of you that have filed in, those of you that will join us, or those of you that may be watching this back in whatever form you may be enjoying the content. For those of you watching on Baseball Banter broadcast, whether live or you're watching the replay of it, this is Prospects of the Land, full-blown coverage of everything going on in the Cleveland Guardians minor league system. Now, Taven, we do this show because, look, small town teams, small market teams like the Cleveland Guardians utilize their prospect farms a lot more than most. You'll hear about some of the top prospects with the Yankees and the Mets and the Phillies and the Dodgers and whatnot, right? The Cleveland is unique in that they have a really good farm prospect system and they utilize it a whole lot.
Yeah, 100%. You look at teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers and all those teams that made those runs, maybe not Toronto, but to an extent, yes. I mean, they open the checkbook and they get whoever they want in free agency, essentially. The Guardians, they struggle to maybe give $4 million to Austin Hedges, and we'll touch on that. But yes, that is a struggle for some teams like us. So yeah, a farm system's essential. You don't compete without that farm system. And if you look at every guy on the Guardians team, they've come through the farm system. I mean, your Jose Ramirez's, even going back a couple years, Francisco Lindor, it seems like almost all these guys on the team, Stephen Kwan, Shane Bieber, the list goes on and on. None of those guys you went out and got in free agency. These are all homegrown talent that you need to keep or attempt to keep around. When that time comes, it hasn't been the easiest, but you get a couple hometown discounts from Jose Ramirez, and you're going to lose some guys along that, but you keep getting these guys up in waves, you're going to stay competing. And that's exactly what the Guardians did this year. You lose Naylor on a contract, lose a couple other guys. What do you have? Yeah. What do you have? You have Kafis, you have Parker Messick, you have guys like that can come up and step up in big moments. And that's exactly how important your farm system is. And that's why we have this show, Nate. It's because that is just so important for the Guardians.
I was going to say, and this goes so far back, Taven. I mean, we're talking about even back to the 90s. I mean, you look at the teams in the mid-90s and Albert Bell, Carlos Baerga, Charlie Nagy, Sandy Alomar, Jim Thome, all these guys, they all came up through our farm system. They played just down the road in Canton. They played at Thurman Munson Stadium before, the team moved up to Akron. It's been going back for so long, and that is just a massive undertaking And it's amazing what the farm system has been able to do in terms of a consistency. And you look at what Toronto's doing. I mean, our front office is sought after. I mean, who's it? What? Let's see. Gosh, my brain is leaving me. Who's the president of Toronto that was in Cleveland?
Oh boy,
our former team.
This is
not
this
Shapiro. Is it Shapiro or is it? But you know what? I mean, it's like we went from having John Hart and we had Shapiro and we've got Chris Antonetti.
Yep. Mark Shapiro.
And so they've got a sought after front office. If they're the like antithesis of the Cleveland Browns front office.
No comment. we will be here for way too long. So.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and it's also very important to show these minor league baseball players some love. They don't get it enough. I mean, Taven, we had a farm team this year, the Lynchburg Hellcats, win a championship. Stadium was nowhere near full, right? It is important to show these guys the love that they deserve because they play some damn good baseball. And we are here to highlight the best of the best because this is the minor league award show. We got 9 different awards here today that Taven and I have picked. Ethan, if you have any comments, feel free to throw them our way. But Taven, we got 8 awards, everything from most improved breakout player all the way up to Cy Young and MVP. And they are all players within the Cleveland Guardians farm system. Are you ready to get going?
Are we getting into that or some transaction stuff first?
Let's get into that first. We'll save the Gardos talk for later. We want the people to see what the Taste of the Prospect farm looks like here. So, Mr. McCulley, I believe we have the order predetermined here. So you have all the graphics loaded up, correct?
I do. Kind of forget our order if you just want to start spitting them up.
Yes, I will spit them out. So the first one, breakout player of the year. This is a player that showed some tremendous form, played phenomenal baseball, and really just kind of came out of nowhere in one aspect or all together. So we will start with you, Mr. McCulley. Who's your Guardians farm system breakout player of the year?
Yeah, so before we get into them, obviously, I know yours. I made all these graphics. You don't know mine.
I do not.
I'm shocked we did not have the same one here because I think this is the biggest layup of an award.
Okay.
Definitely in a long time. My breakout star of the year, none other than Tommy freaking Hawk. All right.
Ooh.
I mean, this guy, there's not words that say what he was able to do this year. I mean, got hurt a little bit toward the middle, the end part of the year, but I mean, 65 stolen bases just throughout the season in 67 games. Dude was on an absolute tear. Now with the bat, he was great last year. Or not great, but he was good. I mean, he hit 263 batting average. This year, he goes out there and hits 307. I mean, just the definition of breakout. A guy on the base pass. Obviously, that's what everybody was talking about. He had his own segment on our show where just keeping track of how many he had. Last year, he had 37 stolen bases. This year, 65, and that was only in 67 games. So he plays more. Who knows what happens? Obviously, he got moved up from Lynchburg to Lake County, made that jump, seemed like he was still doing Tommy Hawk things. Unfortunately, went down with that injury, but Tommy Hawk, my breakout player of the year, just one of the best seasons I've ever seen in the minor leagues just this year for Tommy Hawk.
And here's what people have to realize about that 65 stolen base number. Pretty much all of that came in the first half of the season.
Yeah. Pretty much a stolen base a game.
We were talking about Tommy Hawk being on the path to break a minor league record. That's how crazy Tommy Hawk played this year. You're absolutely right. He was phenomenal, and that might be a little bit of a miss by me. However, I feel pretty confident in my guy that I got coming up next. So if you want to flip it on over, my breakout player of the year in the Guardians farm system is none other than the Columbus Clipper infielder. I believe they played him in a little bit of outfield there as well. There he is. It's Milan Tolentino. Now, when you take a look at the stat line for Milan as far as last year compared to this year, the average was down. In fact, he hit a career low batting average. However, the slugging was up, the on-base percentage was up, and the OPS was in a game sample the highest he's ever had in his minor league career by 1 point. Here's where he really broke out, though. home run power and clutch hitting. I mean, this guy only had 9 home runs in 2024, 21 of them last season. He absolutely broke out the power. He was not necessarily hitting for average, so that average was going to go down, but developed something in Columbus at a higher level against some really good AAA teams. Walks were up, so he was more patient at the plate, hunted for his pitches more, and utilized that power a whole lot better. And it's something that, Taven, me and you just never thought Milan really had, right? We just never thought this guy was going to develop into this power bat, and especially when you take a look at what Cleveland is missing at the big league level, it's the power. That's why he's the breakout player to me. It is a player that I would be very keen in watching how far he's able to make it up the ladder. Again, is already in AAA at Columbus, just needs to take that next step towards the majors. Maybe not a guy that's going to get on the 40-man roster right away, but he's going to fight and he's going to compete. I love the way that he developed his bat, and now over the past 2 seasons, he's been Mr. Clutch. So that's my breakout player of the year.
Well, let me ask you guys something. Sorry to interrupt here, but so you're talking about this player. So Tolentino, where would you see him fitting in, Nate and or Taven, if he gets called up or when he gets called up to Cleveland? We've got to find better. I'm gonna keep harping on this. We can't be having everybody hitting 230 and below. Okay, we can't have that. So if all he does is hit 230, sorry, you can stay. You can stay in Columbus and hit your 230. But I want to know honestly, are we going to see some of these guys, and maybe you'll mention them as we go through, that you could see their game and their at bats and plate appearances translating to being able to hit for a better average and really get things going on the base paths. If you're talking about Tommy Hawk with his ability to steal, we haven't had a great base stealer in a while. I mean, we've had some good ones.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. So that's what I wanted to just kind of pose to you, and I'd love your insights on that.
For Milan Tolentino, if I may start, he's already been a guy that's hit a pretty good average during his first year in the minors. He hit 269, he hit 267 in his first full season, and a full year in Akron in 2024, he hit 241. The average has steadily dropped, but if he can refine that average and that contact hitting, pair it with the power bat he developed last year while being patient at the plate, he was more patient than ever last year, drew a career high in walks. This guy is going to, or I should say, second highest season in walks. Misread a number. This guy, I think, can be a real threat. Maybe not this year, but in the coming years, to be a pretty darn good member. He is a middle infielder. Common theme on this show. The Guardian prospect farm has a ton of them, but you can throw them anywhere in that infield. Taven, what about you with Tolentino or with Mr. Hawk?
Yeah, 100%. The thing with Tolentino, obviously an older guy, and he's hit that average before. We saw that in Akron last year. I want to say he was the player of the month at one point in Akron last year.
He was.
Yeah, a guy, he's going to be a utility guy if he gets a chance, right? I think he's going to come up, be a Will Wilson. Now, is he going to perform like Will Wilson, or is he going to do a little bit better, hopefully, on the better side of things when it comes to Milan Tolentino? But a guy that can play third, a guy that plays short, a guy that can play second base, and an older guy, like I mentioned, he's hit that average in the past, like Nate said. I think this year was a chance. Maybe some of the people within the organization were trying to focus a little more on that power, get that side of, maybe his game up. And that's exactly what he did. I mean, the home runs, it seemed like in the last half of the year, they were flying, Nate.
Yeah, and he was great in the middle infield defensively as well. Just 2 errors when he played in the middle. That's combined games between shortstop and second base. Did struggle quite a bit when he went to third base from a defensive standpoint. But when he plays in the middle, he's phenomenal with the glove. And again, if we can pair that power with that average and him being patient at the plate, I think all those things make a recipe for maybe not a star, but a really solid major league player if he gets that opportunity. Now with Tommy Hawk.
Yeah.
It's really simple. And it goes back to Ethan's point, base stealing. And the guy is a speedster and he's a great contact hitter.
Yep.
He kind of reminds you a little bit of Steven Kwan, right? It poses some attributes more than others, but he plays in left. Or he can play in right. He can play a little bit of everywhere in that outfield, but hits for contact, man, can he run the bases? I can't tell you how many times Tommy Hawk in a single cycle would hit for a single, steal second the next pitch, steal third the very next pitch. He did that all the time, and I think stole home 3 or 4 times last year, Taven.
Yeah.
I mean, he was crazy.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I am sold on him.
All right, we got sound effects on POTL now. I like it.
Yeah.
Taven, you about Mr. Hawk, and we'll move on to the next award.
Yeah, Tommy. I mean, I think he keeps this up. Obviously, injuries are a big factor. Now, I'm not reading into this injury saying, "Oh, the guy's injury prone." It's one injury. I'm not reading too much into that at all. But I mean, as long as he's stealing bases the rate he is, I think it's going to be impossible for him to not see major league time. I mean, if he was hitting even 230, 235, you could be like, "All right, he's great on the base pass. He gets his walks. He's fine." No. This guy's hitting 300 as well. So he's good with the bat. Obviously, doesn't have a ton of power, but what guy like that does when he's able to run the bases like he does, and I've mentioned it even earlier in the year, when he's able to run the bases like that, he doesn't need power. Essentially, a walk turns into a double in that sense. He gets on first, he's going straight to second. So he's even more dangerous in the box than I would say guys are with the bat in some sense. So yeah, Tommy, he keeps this up, he's gonna have a spot no matter what.
All right, Taven, our next award looks like it is Rookie of the Year. So the way that we have defined Rookie of the Year, which is hard to do in the minor league system because the draft happens in the middle of the year, It's their first full year, right? Their first full year and opportunity to play in the minor league system. Taven, will start with mine, and we're going to go to the former catcher out of Eugene, Oregon, a guy that ended the year in Lake County. It is Bennett Thompson. Coming out of last year's draft class in 2024, I loved Jacob Cozart, the second-round pick out of NC State. Boy, did this guy impress me last year. Was massive in a lot of spots for Lynchburg, came up to Lake County, and in a lot of ways got even better. Here's his slash line: 275 average, 378 on base percentage, 373 slugging for a 751 OPS. He doesn't hit for a lot of power, just 3 home runs and 1 triple, but did have 20 doubles. That's a pretty solid number among 87 hits. He was absolutely fantastic. And I loved his defense behind the plate. Could use a little bit of work at times, but to me, for someone who was overshadowed a little bit by Jacob Cozart in his own draft class, I love the way that Bennett Thompson came out and played last year. I think the guy's got the making to be a great catcher, and we got a lot of them in the system, as we'll find out here throughout this award show, specifically with me. But I love the way that Bennett Thompson played. A lot of other great candidates, but I'll give it to the catcher Sko Ducks and Bennett Thompson.
Yeah, like you said with Bennett, I mean, the bat really came around with this guy. I mean, but you got to talk about what he's done defensively too. I mean, the guy doesn't let anything go by him, can throw a runner out when he needs to. Yeah, just the total package, like you said. Obviously, Cozart, he was the catcher drafted, I want to say, in the second round. So everybody kind of had their eyes on him. Bennett Thompson, a guy that kind of came out of nowhere. If you don't follow this system close, and that's exactly what he did this year. And again, for a catcher, it's tough to get those batting stats. We've seen that pretty much at every level. Bennett Thompson, the guy that came right into Lynchburg, did great. Obviously, you see in the graphic, got that promotion up to Lake County and continued that there.
All right, Taven, we'll move on to yours. Your Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, my Rookie of the Year, I think it was a pretty easy decision. A guy that we've talked to, man out of Harvard, Sean Matson. I mean, oh my goodness, when you talk about what this guy was able to do this year, record 3-3. I don't read too much into that, especially guy out of the bullpen, but a 2.08 ERA. Oh my goodness, 96 strikeouts, a 1.04 whip in just 86 and 2/3 innings pitched. Now, the thing with Matson was, beginning of the year, he was a clear-cut bullpen guy. Toward the end of the year, they started mixing him into those starting positions a little bit here and there, and he's excelled great in those. Obviously, if you have a 2 ERA, a guy that started in Lynchburg, obviously got that promotion up to Lake County. Sean Matson, it just goes on and on about what he's been able to do, and just one heck of an arm that this organization was able to get.
And we're going to very quickly transition into, we're going to change up the order a little bit, Taven, that we had sorted out. So we're now going to transition into reliever of the year, because we're going to be talking about the same guy for you, right?
Yes, that is not the right graphic. We will get to that one in a minute. Yeah, my reliever of the year as well, Sean Matson, man. I mean, it was close. I will say it was very close between him and Steven Perez, two very talented arms. We'll get into the other one shortly, but Sean Matson, like I've touched on, I mean, 100 times, this guy is the real deal. Reliever. I was torn if we want to put him in reliever of the year because he did start games at the end of the year, according to Guardians Prospective, which we love. Had him as a starter just because of the 86 innings. We're going to put him in reliever just for the case of this award show. But again, a guy that can do it all. I mean, reliever, starter. He's not going to go, obviously, 6-7 innings, if you need him to down to start a game. But out of the bullpen, the dude is flawless for an inning or two. Yeah, just same things I've already said about him. And it wouldn't shock me if they start this kid in Akron next year.
Ethan, I know you got some thoughts here, but we got the privilege to talk to Sean Matson, such a chill guy and so confident as well. We really believe in him, think he can do some great things. Ethan, you were saying something before I rudely cut you off.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. I thought you were getting ready to say something. Okay, never mind.
I was thinking. I was just sitting here. I'm
okay.
This and I'm wondering. Well, no, let me ask you now. Now you open the door here, Nate.
Well, that's a dangerous thing.
It is. I'm just wondering and pondering where a guy like Matson is going to fit in, because the Guardians have such a phenomenal.
He can replace Matt Festa.
Yep, that's for sure.
We're going to get to him, and why? Why?
Whatever, man. It's
moving on. I just move on. Next.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the other guy in the bullpen that was stellar this year. It's my reliever of the year, Steven Perez. Again, like Taven, very 50-50. I'm going to give the slight edge here to Mr. Perez. Again, you don't pay much attention to record out of the bullpen, but a 1.83 ERA, all 39 games he came out of the pen. So a true reliever here in 69 innings, only allowed 45 hits, 5 home runs through over 1,000 pitches, only hit 1 batter, 20 walks, 70 strikeouts. Again, this is over 69 innings, 185 batting average, and the whip was below 1. Those are some stellar numbers from Steven Perez, and a guy that also came on to have some save opportunities, had 6 save opportunities, got 4 saves. So if you want to play him in the closer role, maybe needs a little bit of work there. But otherwise, dude, this guy was flawless, made it all the way up to Akron this year. And you've just steadily seen him get better, right? In ACL ball in the complex for so long. He has been with this program since they were still, or I should say, been with this organization since they were still the Indians. And he has come all the way through. Again, an older guy that is now starting to develop and climb the ranks. I am stoked to see the way that Steven Perez even more so develops. Here are his ERAs ever since this team got renamed to the Guardians. 2022, 504, 2023, 356, 2024, 259, and now this year a 183. The guy just keeps getting better. He's got experience. He's been around the game a long time. I think he's going to grow into a phenomenal player. 2 very worthy candidates for reliever of the year.
Yeah, he'll be eligible for AARP by the time he's into the majors, it sounds like.
Yeah, probably. So. That's how it goes with this organization. Also pitched a career high in games. And a career high in innings by double figures.
Was it between like 6 and 7 a game?
All right, I'm not going to acknowledge that. That is the stupidest thing. We're not going to acknowledge him. Okay, Taven, we'll get back into our here we go. Most improved. Do you want to start with hitter or pitcher, Taven? I'll let you make the call.
We'll go hitter. I got some stats up for my guy.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, for my most improved hitter, there's a lot of choices, but I'm going to go with Khalil Watson. I mean, a guy that made the jump from AA to Columbus, being AAA. And I mean, the stats just improved this year for him. I mean, last year he hit 220, wasn't the best average. This year he gets that all the way up to 250. So home runs stay the same, so power. But again, I mean, he improves in hits. He had more at-bats at a tougher level, it seemed like. So, I mean, this guy just did everything in his power just to keep climbing and just get better. He also got better in the field. I mean, you're not going to see a ton of stats for that, but last year in spring training too, wasn't the best in the outfield. And this is a guy that's been bounced around different organizations, different positions. Obviously can play second, can play shortstop. He's playing center now. You can play him in left, you can play him in right, third base if you need to. He's got way better in the outfield too. So just a guy that's produced with the bat. He can run the bases like nobody else. I mean, this guy's phenomenal on the base pass. So obviously just improves all around. And I think the hardest part about that is making the jump from AA to AAA. Most of the time you see a lot of guys, the stats maybe get a little worse. We've seen that with Tolentino. Not a ton, but I mean, a little bit. I think you would, maybe attest to that. Khalil Watson, they've all gotten better. I don't see a single stat on here that's really gotten worse. He's even lowered a strikeout ratio. Something that he struggled with last year, 125. He dropped it not a ton, but down to 6. So, it's just a guy that was just able to perform on all aspects of baseball. So,
sorry to interject here. You talked about Tolentino. Am I reading this right that he's been left unprotected in
that sounds right.
Yep. Again, we'll dive into all the guys who are protected, unprotected. I'm not happy about that one. I know Taven's not happy about a certain pitcher that if you've been with us for a long time. So yeah. Oh, we're starting the fumes early. I like it. All right, Taven, move on to mine. I think nobody did more for their draft stock in 2025 than the man you're about to see on screen right now. And if you paid close enough attention, Taven even gave you a little teaser. Yeah. It's Ralphie Velasquez. So second full year in the minor league system, upped his batting average by 34 points, upped his slugging by over 100 points. That means the OPS was up over 100 points. Now more strikeouts, but only by 9, while having more RBIs, 85 compared to 61, doubled his home run total, 9 triples when he only had 1 last year, 28 doubles and 128 hits. Here's his full slash line: 265 average, 342 on base percentage with a 497 slugging. Nobody did more for his draft stock than Ralphie Velasquez. Ended up getting called up to Akron, and I think we could see him climb the ranks a whole lot higher. The defense at first base is something that they're really working on with him. That's something that he's got to be able to develop. And with the first baseman that we have, obviously with Manzardo, you pulled CJ Kayfus up. He can play first. There is that debate on where Ralphie Velasquez fits in. However, I believe he's played one other position throughout his career. He's played left field in 12 games last year, compared to 95 at first base. So he is a natural first baseman. You can stick him in the outfield, although you would prefer not to do that. So it's fascinating to see where he lies as far as if he does get that shot to get called up. I can't imagine that would be next year anyway, just too many guys in front of him. But nobody did more for their prospect stock than Ralphie Velasquez. I got to go with him as my most improved player. Could have been the breakout player as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you've kind of hit everything you did on Ralphie. One heck of a player. I think it's time to get into most improved pitcher of the year. Woo! I'm going to lead this one off.
This was
Jogley Garcia. Jogley Garcia. There were a lot of guys that could have been up for this. Now, Jogley, if there's one thing that just I don't even know how to put it in the words, just the injuries. I mean, if this guy was able to play all year, it would have been something special. Let's just start with the ERA for most improved. Last year, he was rocking a 5.52 ERA, spent some time with Lynchburg and a 1-4 record. Not the best, but he was figuring things out. This year, cut it in half. 2.77 ERA with a 2-1 record. Again, not reading too much into that. Only pitched 39 innings this year, gave up 26 hits, only 18 runs, and walked 17 batters. So the opponent's batting average against him was a .183. He had a 1.10 whip. I mean, the things that he was able to do this year, and if he was healthy the entire way, there's no doubt. I mean, he would, in my opinion, he would have ended up with Akron if he was healthy the entire way. Jogley Garcia, just one heck of a player. It just what he was able to do next year is going to be a special season. I think, Nate, you can even just talk more about him, but just what was he able to do?
health has got to be the biggest thing with Jogly Garcia,
Yeah.
right? Because how many times did we say on the show, and it was really weird, right? Because we never got an official injury proclamation out of the organization. We never got any updates out of him. So it's kind of a big mystery, at least to us. Maybe there's something out there now, but at least to us as of this point on what exactly was going on with Jogly Garcia. Did pitch stupidly late in the year for the captains to try to get them going, but was a huge part to that Lynchburg team and was their ace when Lynchburg won the first half to clinch their playoff spot. He was amazing. And we kept saying, okay, when are they going to get him back? Okay, it doesn't seem like they're going to get him back. Now they need him for the postseason. Okay, they're not going to get him back for the postseason. Wait, did he just get called up to Lake County? So it was kind of a roller coaster year for Jogly Garcia. But the guy does not have an overpowering fastball, but has got some wicked breaking stuff. Pitch control is a big thing for him. He is amazing at it. And Taven, you're absolutely right. That guy stays healthy. Watch out, man. If the captain's pitching rotation is at its best next year, you're looking at Matt Wilkinson, Jogly Garcia, and many others on the same staff. That's going to be a hell of a starting rotation.
Maybe he should do more Runley than Jogly. I don't know. Faster pace.
Well, my pitcher of the year hails from Akron. He is Rodney
Most
Boone.
improved.
Yeah, most improved. It's Rodney Boone. Look at him in 2024, 3.26 ERA. Okay, that's not too bad. But the home run rate was not that great. The average was fantastic, but he also was not healthy. So what I did with Rodney Boone is I compared him to his other healthy full season. And for one singular team, we're going to compare it to 2023 because he also pitched the same amount of games, 18 games, both in 2023 and in 2025. The ERA in 2023 was a 4.95. He pitched 80 innings, allowed 82 hits, 14 home runs, 32 walks to 90 strikeouts while allowing opponents to hit 264. Not great numbers. Last year, 2.31 ERA across 78 innings, 60 hits, only allowed 5 home runs, 22 walks. That was down. Strikeouts, not as prolific, but still a good number there at 72. Average down to 211, and the whip was close to sub 1. So when you compare it to 2024 in the small, literally half as much sample size, well, okay, the numbers do seem a little bit better. But comparing it to his last full healthy season at Lake County, when you looked at him in Akron in 24, you never knew what you were going to get. You know what you're going to get now with Rodney Boone moving forward. It's a solid guy that's got some, again, not super overpowering stuff, but it's got a couple of pitches he relies on a whole lot. And again, is one of the guys in this pitching staff that are starting to see their steady improvements in a weird year for a lot of the top pitchers in the organization where they just didn't perform that great. One Matt Wilkinson comes to mind. He was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to see him grow. That's my most improved pitcher.
Yeah, Boone, like you said, I mean, a guy, 24, it was real shaky whenever he was out there. You didn't know what you were going to get exactly. I mean, the dude could go for 5 solid innings. He could get rocked in the first. This year, though, I mean, you mentioned all the points, most improved by far. One of the pitchers most improved by far. Just what he was able to do. I really like Boone in a bullpen role. I mean, he's able to really get in there and give you 2 to 3 really strong innings in the middle there. I think we saw that out of him a lot. Thing is, though, it's just health. I mean, like you said, his last healthy season was with Lake County full. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can stay healthy. Hopefully he does. But when he does, he's really turned that corner, and I think he can be a real valuable key.
All right, Taven, we're getting into the big time awards now, huh? We're getting into the big boys. So for DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year, who gets the Gold Glove?
Myles Garrett.
Yeah. He's, he could probably break the single season sack record. So he's coming for it.
Yeah, sorry about that. Just
David.
Probably could. I'm gonna go with a guy who's seen Major League time. It's gonna be Petey Halpin. I mean, this dude in the outfield. I mean, even Cleveland fans saw it. Dude was just an absolute unit. Don't have stats in front of me, but I mean, just some of the highlights.
Okay, I got you. Give me a second.
There we go. Some of the highlights this guy was putting out, though. I mean, unreal. Can play anywhere in the outfield you need him. Right, left, center. It doesn't matter. We saw it all year in Columbus. The bat finally started to come around, and now he's going to Cleveland. And for that month that he was there with the big league club. I mean, the dude, the bat was shaky, but I mean, what he was able to do in the outfield was just, oh my God, Gold Glove worthy.
Oh, yeah. Can we look at wow, these numbers are impressive. Oh man. So the reason I didn't pick Petey Halpin, by the way, I'm looking at these numbers again, thinking, oh my goodness, Petey Halpin. I picked a guy that had not seen major league time yet, but for Petey Halpin, played 14 games in left field, 106 in center, and 4 in right. When he was with the Columbus Clippers, that was the games he was in the field. 1 error. That's it. 1 error. That's it. That fielding percentage got to be like a 990, 954, whatever it is, right? Try this on for size 2. 19 outfield assists.
Jeez.
So got a cannon there in the outfield. Of course, is going to have played most of his time in center field. That's his natural position. But Taven, this is a perfect segue into my guy as well, because Joe Lampe is another one of those guys that's just going to be a monster in the outfield for you. So here is what he did from a defensive standpoint in the outfield with the Akron Rubber Ducks, as well as a little bit of the Columbus Clippers this year as well. So played in right, left, and center. You can play him a little bit of everywhere. Only 2 errors for him, and across it, tallying up 14 outfield assists. So maybe not as impressive as Petey Halpin, but 2 sure-handed gloves into the field that, hey, much like Stephen Kwan, you don't want to run on them. You don't want to try to steal that extra base. They will throw you out. So really good stuff out of these 2 outfielders. We gave Defensive Player of the Year to a couple infielders last year, and it is an infield award. But none of the infielders this year were really stellar at their position. Yordis Valdez took a step back. Dion Frias took a step back. Some of the other mainstays took a step back. It was the outfield. The defense in the outfield this year was spectacular, led by Halpin when he played in the minors, led by Joe Lampe. Taven, these are 2 perfect guys for the award.
Yeah, 100%. 2 perfect dudes for the award. Like you mentioned, our Gold Gloves last year, Yordis Valdez kind of took a step back from in the field. My guy's not even there anymore, Connor Cox. So
yeah,
obviously 2 new guys up, and Lampe and Halpin were great picks. Joe Lampe, again, I mean, the arm that this guy has in the outfield is absolutely unreal. Saw some time in Columbus. I think that's where he's going to be pretty much all of next year, doing a little bit of the older side, but obviously he a guy that's in his bag, not just with the walk-up songs, but obviously in the field too. Yeah, just love everything that this dude's about. Ethan, I saw you shaking your head there. You got
I was shaking, no,
any walk-up song intel on Lampe?
I don't have any of that, but what I do have to say is you talked about center field. We have been searching for a really good center fielder here for a few years. Lane Thomas, unfortunately, last year with all the injuries, we were kind of left, and then what was it? We had DeLauder playing in center field in the playoffs. That was CD. Am I remembering this correctly? It was CDL and just put it in center field.
Yep.
And commits an error.
First chance he gets it in the majors, and he boots it.
Right. And my point being is it would be so helpful to get someone who's young and can take control of the outfield in center field. It would be such an important piece for Cleveland. They have to cover so much ground there and really command the outfield. I know Kwan is amazing, but finding our future center fielder would be obviously be very helpful.
I think you're going to look to Petey Halpin for that as of right now, more than Joe Lampe. Petey Halpin is a little bit older. He's a little bit more experienced, and I think he's overall just a better fielder. Lampe might be the better bat. That's up for debate. I think Lampe might be the better bat. Maybe. Potentially.
I was going to say Petey for both. That's not a knock on Lampe, but the bat has not come around. I do believe Lampe is older, and we've talked about this before.
Is he really?
Petey Halpin is not as old as we think he is. He's just been with us since he was like 17. Yeah, Petey.
Because Lampe is 24. I got it in front of me.
Yeah, 24. Petey was born in 2002 in May, so I don't.
Wow, Petey's 23 then.
He's 23 and a half. He'll be 24 in May.
Yep.
He is younger.
That quick math, guys. You know, it's
there it is. That's why Ethan's here.
Right. Yeah, this is exactly why you're. And when he did get playing time in the majors, went 2 for 6. So not much time, but the sample size is good. So,
Yeah.
so I think when you're looking for someone like that, watch out for Petey Halpin. Guys already on the major league roster. I like Angel Martinez in center personally, something we can talk more about a little bit later. Taven, the most no-brainer award of the show is coming up next. We both have the same guy for this. It's the only one where we have the same. So, I mean, I'd throw up one of the graphics. Doesn't really matter.
Fly through it.
Yeah, I just
Unanimous.
easy, right? This guy is unbelievable. This is Jordan Smith, the manager of the Lynchburg Hellcats. What is there bad to say about this guy? He's a player's coach. He loves his boys. He's intense at the right moments. He seems to push all of the right buttons. And his team won a title this year after really stalling out in the second half. And here's another big reason why the manager of the year comes to mind. Taven, you can piggyback more off of this point. In the minor leagues, your team is changing all the time, more than your major league team does. Your major league team could change for injuries. You're having guys move up and down the farm system all the time. When you are the coach of a low A baseball team, a single A baseball team, your roster is completely flipped in the first and second half. He didn't care. He still won a ship.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you talk about that low A level, and I mean, I've said it countless times, that's, in my opinion, the hardest team to manage, right? Because Columbus, you had the same group of guys throughout the year, you would say. Akron, guys are going up and down, but I mean, most of them are kind of there throughout the year, especially once you get to the middle. And at the low A level, once that draft kind of hits, it's almost like a 360. And I would probably say it is. I mean, it seemed like all those guys that went out and won a championship were obviously they weren't with the organization at the time. But I mean, how many guys were with Lynchburg at the start of the year that ended up on that championship team? I mean, you could probably count them on one hand.
Maybe four,
you know,
3, 4.
Yeah, I mean, Walty, a guy who was one of the biggest pieces on that team, Cleveland was probably in the back of his mind when this season started in April. And he was one of the biggest pieces of that championship team.
Braylon Doty getting called up. Yeah.
Another thing we didn't talk about with Jordan Smith, I mean, both of his all-stars, they pretty much went down with an injury, and he didn't see them after that. Yes, Tommy Hawk did get obviously promoted, but Tommy Hawk went down with an injury. Jogly Garcia, the ace of their team, went down with an injury, and he was just finding people to fill that void with.
Even Churio before he got called up.
Yup, exactly. So I mean, this guy, he just knows how to bring a team around him. Just gets everything out of his guys, like you mentioned. Just down to earth with them. It seems like just a great dude. And again, he won a championship, right? I think that's the only thing you kind of really got to look at for this award. Obviously, all the other stuff we said is really important, but just at the low A level to win a championship with essentially just a draft class that just came in for a month, that's something special. And that's why Jordan Smith is our manager of the year.
Easy, right? Really easy. All right, Taven, it's time for the really, really big boy awards. Your Cy Young, the best pitcher across the minor leagues. Let's start with me. All right, let's start with me.
You kick it off.
We'll kick it all off. This guy was named High A Pitcher of the Year, I do believe, for Lake County. Ended up getting called up to Akron. It's Josh Hartle. This guy was spectacular this year. He was spectacular. And it was his first full season with the organization, right? He was a trade piece, right? He got acquired in one of the two trades. He got acquired from the Pirates. Started the year in Lake County and came up into Akron, and I mean, was just dynamic. Now, only pitched 2 games in Akron, so the majority of his work was in Lake County. So these are the stats I'm reading off are his full season of work, right? 10-3 record, 2.54 ERA, over 113 and a third innings, 85 hits, only 32 earned runs, just 2 homers, 39 walks to 107 strikeouts, 208 average to opposing hitters, 109 whip. Those are some absolutely phenomenal numbers. And for a guy that I have no clue where in the hell he was playing, he was in the Florida State League. That is the
draft pick out of Wake Forest, I believe.
Yep, single A. Oh, and I got to watch him in the College World Series. Let me tell you, the guy was a flamethrower then. He's a flamethrower now. He was a phenomenal phenomenal pitcher this year and is absolutely deserving of that Cy Young award. Again, still really, really young talent, and he's this good. Now moving his way up, much like we've seen with Messick, soon to be Austin Peterson, some of the other guys. Josh Hartle's going to be a guy to pay attention to in this organization, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, two other guys that he came over with, it seems like he was the better of them. Obviously, Michael Kennedy, who he's been solid throughout the minor leagues. He, Spencer Horwitz was traded for both of those guys. And the other piece, Luis Ortiz, which we'll get into. But obviously, he didn't really pan out for us. Ethan, if you have any thoughts on that.
No. Save the Ethan thoughts. Don't open the can yet. Okay, well, we got to keep it sealed. It's not the apocalypse yet. Okay, the apocalypse is coming. We got to save it. Who's your Cy Young, David?
Cy Young, I mean, it was between obviously Hartle and the guy I have up on my screen. I think you were between these two guys. It's Yorman Gomez. I mean, the dude was absolutely flawless, especially when he got to Akron. It seemed like he got better almost. Columbus is where he started the year. He ended the year in Akron. 12-2 record. Now, I know we don't really buy into the record here too much, in the minor leagues and on this podcast, but if you're 12-2, you're doing something right. So there's that. 27 games pitched. 2.96 ERA. If your ERA begins with 2 in the minor leagues, you were really doing something right. 139 strikeouts, a 1.16 whip in 121 and 2/3 innings pitched. I mean, what is there to say about this guy? It just was able to adapt up and down the minor leagues. When he came from Lake County, fit right into that Akron rotation. And this was a year where a lot of the main guys really weren't that great in the minor leagues, it seemed like. Obviously, Peterson was solid. He had a better year yet last year, in my opinion. Davenport struggled. I love him to death, but he struggled a little bit from last year. Again, numbers weren't terrible. I went back and looked at him, but especially in the early in the year, he struggled. Parker Messick, if you go back and look at his numbers from the minor league to the major leagues, he was way better in the major leagues this season than when he was down in Columbus, which makes no sense. Doug Nikhazy had his fair share of struggles. I would say those are probably your 4 leading candidates. And the fact that these guys kind of came out of nowhere and were able to handle business, I think that says a lot about them and just that next man up mentality that this farm system has. And obviously it's the pitching factory for a reason. And Yorman Gomez, I think, is a product of that. But just what he was able to do as well. I mean, it was just something special this year with a 2.96 ERA. So Yorman Gomez is my Cy Young.
2 worthy candidates, and probably by far and away the 2 front runners out of all the performers this year, and that being Yorman Gomez and Josh Hartle. It's the big one now. It is the MVP. Taven, you know my pick, so we'll throw my pick up there. We talked earlier how hard it is. Oh, hang on.
Who was our picks last year? Did we both pick Kayfus? I believe I did.
I either picked Kayfus or I picked Jonathan Rodriguez because he literally was the AAA MVP.
Let me go back and look. You can start on yours real quick.
I'm actually going to wait because Ethan's got a question. So
okay,
you search that out.
Nate, I'm going to come punch you about Jonathan Rodriguez. No, just kidding.
Oh, okay. Ooh. I was about to go make sure my door was locked.
All right, so last year,
the lights, get down.
My MVP was CJ Kayfus. Last year, your MVP was Cooper Engel.
Well, guess what, folks? We got a two-peat because Cooper Engel has done it again. We talk about how hard it is to hit 300 as a catcher. He did it last year, couldn't quite get there this season, but the guy was still fantastic at the higher level. 260 average, 389 on base percentage, and a 419 slugging. That's an 808 OPS. And those numbers, by the way, were down for what he did last year, but did get more at-bats, got more opportunities, 108 hits, scored 68 runs, 36 doubles, 10 homers, 55 RBIs, 86 walks to just 85 strikeouts. And you got to talk about what he does behind the plate from a catching standpoint. In how many pitches did he face? Well, it's not going to tell me, but over 734 innings throughout his 2 teams he played for at the catcher position in 2025, just 4 passed balls. I mean, he also threw out 20 would-be base stealers. It's a pretty solid number in his own right. So the guy just continues to impress me. That's funny that I picked him last year too. I could have sworn I had Jonathan Rodriguez, but maybe I have a little bit of a man crush on Cooper Engel. That's fine. You have one on Thor. So we're all good here, right? Cooper Ingle is so impressive. And I know people complain about Bo Naylor, and Austin Hedges is in there for whatever Austin Hedges does in the clubhouse that we don't want to know.
He's got a good chest hair game. Look, I'm just going to ask you. I'm going to bust right in. When is Cooper Ingle going to be playing in Cleveland? I can't stand another minute.
I would love it to be next year. I
think it has to be. I think it's. I would say you have to bring him up next year just because
you have to at least try him out.
I would say when is the question? Okay. Is it before June or after June? I would probably think that might be the kind of maybe point that you would look at, but it also depends on what Bo Naylor does. I mean, we saw Bo Naylor get really hot at the end of the season, so we'll see.
Yeah, after he worked with Albert Bell to get on some hitting.
Ingle, I don't think is the other catcher on the 40-man either. It's David Fry, and he's going to get back to playing the field this year. So now you have to see what you have in David Fry. David Naylor, whatever.
Close enough.
Yeah, you have to see what you have in David Fry behind the plate now, too, that he can play the position. So that leaves Cooper Ingle in a very interesting spot. And Taven, this is the conversation we have all the time about this team and this system. It's really hard to find a way to fit guys in because, hey, you already have a young guy playing there, trying him out, but yet this other guy is doing this at the AAA level, doing that at the AA level. When does he get his shot? And you're like, I don't know, because where do you fit him in, right? That's the conversation you have all the time. Another reason why we do this show, because it's really fun to talk about and try to dissect. But for the second year in a row, John Cooper Ingle, you were my MVP.
There it is. I mean, my MVP, a guy we touched on earlier, it was a toss-up. There were a lot of options. I'm going to go with Ralphie Velasquez. I love this guy with absolute tear, especially when he got to Akron. Player of the week. Want to say player of the month, potentially, in there. I do think that was right. But a guy who was just on fire, just every single spot he's hit so far, Lynchburg, Lake County, and obviously he was on that championship team last year, and then Akron this year. I mean, 265 batting average, 483 at bats. This guy was not injured at all this year, which is beautiful to see. He hit 22 home runs, 85 RBIs, only one stolen base, but he's not there to do that. You have other guys such as Tommy Hawk to step up and fill that role. And a .839 OPS. I mean, what this guy was able to do, and he was able to take that jump this year as well. We saw that especially in the average. Last year he hit 231. This year he hits 265, and that was up there with some of the best hitters. Obviously, you said Cooper Ingle hit 260 as a catcher, is a little tougher than an everyday player, but doubled his home runs, went from 11 to 22. Ralphie was just able to do everything for both teams that he touched this year in that 3 and 4 hole. That's why he's my MVP. I mean, he was a round 1 pick for a reason, and we are seeing it now, and it is a beautiful thing to see. Ralphie Velasquez, my 2025 Guardians minor league MVP.
There you have it. That's it. That's the award show. Done and out. You can find clips of that on our Instagram. You'll find stuff on Twitter, on YouTube. That's it. But we're not done, okay? We know we've already got, but hey, we're not done, okay? We are also on Baseball Banter for a reason. We want to talk about the team that's going to get the most eyes, the Gardos. Shall we start to dive into some of the things? Taven, you have, first off, let's just take a moment, reel it all in. Good award show and a good year for the prospect system, right? Over the past 2 seasons, we've had combined 5 playoff appearances. So that's something to cheer about in the minor league system. And it's also why that this organization is unique. Nobody relies on their prospect system more and does it at a higher level than what Cleveland does. At least I think.
And I want to say,
look at the other farm system of the teams that are in the same scenario. Minnesota doesn't do it. I mean, you basically go up and down the central divisions of the AL and the NL. It's bar none. Cleveland does the best job with that. All these other teams continue to struggle. They can't manage to build that kind of a farm system and have that kind of homegrown talent.
Yeah, they have the one guy here or there. I mean, it is consistent excellence and superbness all across this minor league system.
Except for a power hitter.
Well, there are a couple coming up. So we did not even say the name of Travis Bazzana in this award show. It's because he didn't play a full season.
Yeah,
but we all know what he can do.
Yeah, well, don't try and sell me on John Kenzie Noel. If I catch a breeze and
we're so out on
guy
him.
whiffing on pitches, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, well, we're both out on him too. So
yeah, Pedro Serrano. You can go talk to Joe Boo back there. Okay.
Might be time to investigate him for some gambling as well.
All right, so let's take a look at the transaction board. We just crossed an hour in the show. We have got to thank a couple of guys on YouTube for tuning in. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights 5851. Thank you. That was at the top of the show. Film critic Aiden, thank you. There are 6 of you right now in the YouTube live stream, and over 35 of you have been watching the show on X, formerly known as Twitter. So thank you so much for all the support here. The first show in the Baseball Banter broadcast. We look forward to doing everything Cleveland Guardians like with the platform. And speaking of which, we do have some transactions to talk about, guys up and down from the 40-man roster as we get ready for the Rule 5 draft in winter meetings. So, Taven, who's off, who's on?
Yeah, so obviously with what happened with Clase and Ortiz, you knew you had 2 more spots open, which obviously what happened to them, you didn't wish that at all. But if there is a bright side to what happened, it's that you have 2 more spots to protect 2 more of your great prospects. And I mean, the list is you got 4 guys protected. You have Austin Peterson. Obviously, that's been Nate's guy for as long as this podcast existed. One of the best arms in the system. Got Khalil Watson, my most improved bat, and a trade piece you got from Miami. I want to say in the Josh Bell trade. Yeah, that was right. A while ago. Yeah, in the Josh Bell trade. Angel Hanao, I mean, the top 5 prospect. Maybe top 3. He's 3 or 4 on that list. Forget where he falls. Obviously, he's really important and had one heck of a year last year. You really have to protect him. And Yorman Gomez, right? My Cy Young put together one heck of a year. All 4 of those guys, in my opinion, he's 3. Hanao?
3.
Hanao 3. All 3 of those guys, or all 4 of those guys, in my opinion, they would have been long gone if you didn't protect them. So you had to there. And then to free up a spot, I'm more than willing to bet it was Yorman's spot. DFA Nick Enright, a guy who's been really up and down ever since he got to the big league. And Nick Enright was a former Rule 5 draft pick, I want to say to Miami, if my memory serves me right, in the 23 Rule 5 draft.
So here is the story with Nick Enright, for those of you that may not have followed this last year, right? So Nick Enright was a Rule 5 draft pick out of Miami, and a week after the Rule 5 draft, he gets diagnosed with cancer and then dropped. Just gone. He has worked his way back up, did it through the Cleveland system, and made his major league debut, earned a couple of strikeouts, had some good moments for the club throughout the year. So it is unfortunate, while it is, in my opinion, the right baseball move. This is a business after all. It is unfortunate to see the story of Nick Enright, but we hope that he can continue that storyline somewhere else.
100%. I think he has the capabilities to do that. I mean, this is just a bullpen and a pitching rotation that has so much talent. But I mean, there's no doubt in my mind Enright is easily capable of making another major league roster. For sure, he's a AAA talent. There's no debate there. He was great when he was with Columbus. It's just, can he make that jump? I think he can definitely latch onto a team, even within the division in Minnesota and obviously Chicago, and get a chance there. But again, wasn't terrible for us. Just obviously there's a lot better talent out there coming through the ranks, and he was just way too inconsistent. When he was on, and we saw flashes of that earlier in the season. But he was just too inconsistent, and that's obviously the reason why he's just the odd man out.
All right, there's another page to this, I do believe, correct?
I want to say there's another 2 pages.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Those are just free agency news. This is everything revolving the Rule 5 draft. It's some more contract stuff here.
Okay, so this is where we start talking about some of these guys. So David Fry, you obviously had to get him back. Now that he's going to be fully healthy in 2026, we'll see what happens. They avoid arbitration with him. He has signed a minor league contract. He got $1,375,000 or 1.375 millis For Nolan Jones, they're going to be giving him $2 million. He is in arbitration 1. And Matt Festa got $1 million as well. So
I could play as well as them. Give me a break. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Nolan Jones, you
yep.
stink. We got rid of you, and then we brought you back, and you still stink. And Matt Festa, no one gives. You want to give me a heart attack and a white knuckler when you come into the game, and then I'm ready to strangle you because you stink? Go away, Matt Festa. You sound like a Ford Festiva, and that's what I think of when I think of your name. Go away. Thank you.
Yeah, Matt Festa has his moments. Flyball Festa, as we can dub him.
Yeah.
For Nolan Jones, no secret the guy really struggled last year. You just at the very least hope that you can turn it on. And then David Fry. David Fry is probably the only one out of this you look at and say, okay, fine. All-star season. While he fell off at the end of 2024, wasn't healthy last year. You got to see what you have in him at the catcher position, maybe before you try out Cooper Engel or somebody else. So other than that, though, here, by the way, are the only other guys making over $1 million with the organization. Austin Hedges at $4 million. Stephen Kwan is in arbitration 2. He got $8.5 million. Tanner Bybee at 9.6. And then the very generous $20 million contract that Jose has us on. I know $20 million is generous because he is the GOAT. So other than that, everybody else is on a minor league deal. That is 31 players that are on a minor league deal. By the way, that deal, $820,000.
Yeah, I think the biggest question, in my opinion, with this page, obviously you got to bring back David Fry. You're 100% right on that. And now he's going to be able to play the field. Nolan makes no sense, but I don't even know.
To me, Nolan can make a little bit of sense. You need somebody to fill the gap in right field. You haven't tried out many prospects there. Are you really going to throw DeLauder in at the start? Okay, maybe it depends on how spring training goes. But Festa's 33 and was not good last year. To me, you can sway me on Nolan Jones up to a certain point. There's no doing that with Matt Festa. That made no sense to me.
Well, and I think the thing with Festa is, right, you mentioned it. He's an older guy. Obviously, just wasn't good last year, and I think you can find that anywhere in free agency. You have talent coming up through the minor leagues, but I think the biggest thing is, if it was between him and Enright, if I'm being 100% honest, I'm picking Enright. I mean, I think I've seen bigger flashes of what he's capable with last year. If it's up to me, I'm going with Enright, and I don't even know if we have Zach Kent, but it's probably a real close battle between him and Festa as well.
Yeah, it's Ethan. Your thought. Oh well, you've already said.
I've said my piece on this.
Is there a third page to this?
Yeah. So the third page includes more kind of free agent news. Involves Will Brennan, Sam Hentges, and obviously Nick Enright, who was DFA'd. So that really just doesn't mean anything at the moment. But Hentges and Brennan, if you want to talk about that, Nate.
Yeah, Brennan is Hentges. Sam could never necessarily stay healthy. Now for Will Brennan, that's interesting. The biggest point of contention in this team's system right now is who do you play in center? Who do you play in right? Will Brennan had some decent moments for the club in 2024 and just didn't play most of 2025. So he's guaranteed. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't re-sign with the club, that he's guaranteed free agency. Yeah. That's not what that means at all. But now he's got a chance to explore his options. And it also gives Cleveland an avenue to now pull some of these guys up. Maybe like a Petey Halpin, who I think is already on the 40-man. Maybe you see Joe Lampe join the 40-man. DeLauder is also already on the 40-man. So it leaves some room for a couple other prospect outfielders to come up. I don't know who that would be outside of Lampe. I think everybody that you'd like to test out next year is already up on this 40-man, or at very least close to it. And I don't know. It was just another guy that I thought you could try out in the outfield. I looked at that and I just thought, okay, I didn't really know what they were thinking. I know you're a big Will Brennan guy, Taven.
Oh yeah.
And again, it doesn't necessarily, not even necessarily, it doesn't mean he can't re-sign with the organization at all. And I very much so hope that he does, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just sounding like a broken record now.
Yeah, Ethan, you have anything on him before? I mean, I'm probably going to go on a little Will Brennan rant here.
I leave the
Well, you got the floor, so
I mean,
popcorn.
I don't know. I mean, Will Brennan's a guy I think you should have kept around 100%. Obviously, Quan's locked down and left, but outside of him, you really don't have a lot. I think he was the second best fielder on this team, and it wasn't even close. Again, Gold Glove candidate, like I've said, the dude was absolutely flawless in the field. People, you can make the point here and there that, yeah, his bat wasn't great, but I mean, if you watch the games and really look at the stats, I think it's, I mean, two different things at times. I mean, Will Brennan, since he's been up with a major league club in 2022, he played 11 games and was part of that postseason run. He had 357. His first full year, he hit 266. And last 2 years ago in 2024, he hit 264. Now, he only hit 91 at batting average last year, but he played 11 games and he was hurt. Obviously, he goes down with Tommy John surgery. That keeps him out the entirety of the year. He's expected to be back next year. Obviously, Tommy John, still a terrible injury, but not as bad for position players as obviously pitchers. He'd be out pretty much all of this year if he was pitching. Should be back this year. Again, the guy can run the bases extremely well. I think you keep him around. Never really had power. I mean, his best year was 8 home runs. Definitely, if he played all of this year, I think he would have had double digits with ease. That's only 2 more. Again, I'm not freaking out about 10 home runs saying that's awesome, but a guy who's going to hit for contact, he's going to be a lockdown glove in right or center field, way better than obviously Noel should never play the field a day in his life. Jonathan Rodriguez should never play the field a day in his life. And we haven't even discussed what Jonathan Rodriguez did in that playoff series yet. But that's why you need a good glove out there. And Will Brennan provides that. He provides a solid bat, not saying he's ever going to hit in the top 5 of a lineup, but he's definitely can hit 8 and 9 with Rocchio and just get on base and just have a good average. So in my opinion, you bring him back. He is 1,000% better than Nolan Jones. I can't name a single thing Nolan Jones does better than Will Brennan. Maybe you can make the argument for power, but I wouldn't even go there. Nolan Jones is just a liability compared to Will Brennan. Will Brennan's so much superior than Nolan Jones. It's not even funny. And Jonathan Rodriguez. I don't know. I think you bring back Will Brennan, but obviously it's not my call to make. But that's where I stand on it.
All right, should we get into a little Gardo's preview? I don't think we have the full list of do we have the full list of Rule 5 draft? I think we do.
Definitely put it out.
Okay. Nope, I have it in front of me, actually. I have it right in front of me. Cool.
Do you want to send it to me and I can throw it up?
Yes, I will. I'm going to send it to you on Instagram and you can give it a good old screenshot here.
All right.
Guardians prospective, by the way. If you want all the happenings going on, we do appreciate everything that he can provide us and all the work that he does. A lot of the information that we can possess, we do base it off too of what he's able to provide. Not saying that, we take his opinions or anything on things. Of course, we make those ourselves, but he does some absolutely phenomenal work. Absolutely go check out Guardians prospective. Taven, that just got sent to you. So there are a couple of interesting non-protections here. And the biggest one that is eligible for the Rule 5 draft. Now, I believe that they can still protect people, right? They can still protect some of these guys. And this list is full-time eligible guys. So these are guys.
Real quick, the one that you just sent me is
that's first-time eligible, right?
2026 for next year's Rule 5 draft.
Oh, okay. Hang on. So I got to look.
Well, and pardon me, I don't know if anyone who is watching is a baseball novice. What is the layman's explanation of what the Rule 5 draft is for those who may not know and follow it that closely?
Taven, I'll let you take it. I'm going to find this Rule 5 draft.
I just found it, but I'll take the floor on it.
Okay.
So essentially, yep, guys that are, do you want to take this, Nate? And I can somehow put this in?
Sure. So what the Rule 5 draft is this. You have to have a certain amount of service time years with an in organization. So everyone's favorite two-part term in baseball, service time, right? That is great. Fantastic. We love service time. If you have a certain amount of time with an organization in minor league baseball, period, and you do not see major league time, you become eligible for the Rule 5 draft. It is basically you get in order, and I believe Rule 5 draft it's standings order. I could be.
I believe you're correct.
Rule 5 draft is standings order. And Taven, you can take this graphic away too while you make the other one. Rule 5 draft is standings order. Bam. So there it is. There's all the players. And obviously we can take a couple names off of this list. We can take Angel Yanao off of this list. And we can take Yorman Gomez off of this list. I believe those are the only two. Am I correct in that?
Yorman Gomez, Austin Peterson, and Angel Yanao.
So take those three off.
4 guys.
Well,
Watson
these guys
as well.
hey, wait a second. Are any of them dead, and should we cross them off the list?
They got protected. So
okay.
So this list over here are guys that are eligible to be picked in the Rule 5 draft. Ignore Angel Yanao, ignore Yorman Gomez, ignore Austin Peterson. They're protected because they're on the 40-man roster. So the way the Rule 5 draft
great
works,
major league reference, Ethan.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
I didn't even catch on to that. I was so like, what's going on? Now that you say, okay, that's my fault. I should have gotten that. So, okay. But the way that the Rule 5 draft works is if you have a certain amount of time, it's 5 years that you have, and you have not seen major league time, you are eligible for the Rule 5 draft. Teams can keep picking and picking and picking until they say, we're going to skip our pick. Once the final team skips their pick, the Rule 5 draft is done. So the Rule 5 draft can be anywhere from 18 picks, meaning one organization took 18 guys from other minor league systems, or last year it was 5 rounds?
I want to say 5 rounds, but I do believe the year before. So obviously it can, it could vary. Every organization could lose one guy. There was also a year where the Rockies went, I want to say, somewhere in the realm of 12 rounds, and they went nuts. And I know the Yankees lost 14 players from their organization. So you can either be in the boat of losing 1 or 2 guys, or you could literally lose 14 guys from your organization.
People talk about how the college football how the college football transfer portal and the college sports transfer portal as a whole is the wild, wild west. This is way worse. This is way worse because it is not the player's decision. This is where a front office can be like, we want him. Oh, but too bad you didn't protect him. We want him. And so that's how it works.
Essentially, I mean, this is an all right analogy, but it's kind of like a keeper fantasy league in a sense. You kind of keep your guys who you want, and everybody else goes back into the pot. You go from there. Go from there. Yeah. That's kind of the easiest way to kind of make sense of it all. It's like keeper fantasy league. You keep your top 40 guys that you like, and then everybody else is fair game for the other teams in the league.
So, Taven, as we take a look at this list that is sitting pretty right over here, obviously a ton of pitchers on this list. Cleveland is very deep in their pitching regiment. I actually think I still have who got taken last year. So I'm going to pull that up. And we took a guy last year, obviously.
That name is slipping my mind.
I am literally about to pull it up right
now.
Oh,
Will Wilson.
Yep, we took Will Wilson. That's right.
We lost somebody in the first round, and it was Christian Cairo. That's where my knowledge stops of last year.
Okay, so and I think the way that works too, if you re-sign, then you're not re-eligible because Christian Cairo could be re-eligible, but he's not. I don't know all the nuances.
We somehow got him back last year too.
Yep, got Christian Cairo back.
He didn't make their 40-man.
Got Christian Cairo back. So so picking from us, the Yankees took Luis Durango, and the Pirates took Landy Labatt and Steve Hajar. So those were the players gone. And of course, Will Wilson was selected from the San Francisco Giants. Obviously a guy that saw major league time for us this year. Rule 5 draft, people may think, why is it important? Well, there have been some really important Rule 5 draft picks in the past.
Yeah.
Oh
One of
my
which
good-
being Trevor Steffen. I mean,
Yeah.
a key reliever for us out of the bullpen. Obviously,
The
he
biggest
hasn't been
one-
around in a minute with an injury, but I mean, that guy was on fire before he got hurt.
Biggest one, and I don't know why this skipped my mind for a minute. Roberto Clemente was a Rule 5 draft pick.
Yeah.
So there's some baseball trivia for you. George Bell was. Oh boy, I'm gonna let's see. Joakim Soria, Ryan Presley, Red Sox to the Twins, because I know Ryan Presley's been about everywhere. Rule 5 draft, you can get some studs, and it's not going to be anything crazy. Josh Hamilton, Brad Keller, Ender Enciarte, Mark Canha. Those are so. Oh, Anthony Santander obviously got taken from the Cleveland organization. Same thing with Hector Rondon. I'm probably not pronouncing that last name correctly. Garrett Whitlock in 2020, Yankees to the Red Sox, was a Rule 5 draft pick. So you can get some pretty notable guys out of the Rule 5 draft. Taven, who's while it's really hard to go look through the entire minor league system, right? Although we do have a spreadsheet courtesy of someone with Baseball Banter on everyone eligible for the Rule 5 draft. Who's someone you're looking at here and thinking, oh, please don't let him go? Because the one that we were looking at last year was Ryan Webb. And we were like, please don't take him. And he's back on the list this year.
And he's back. I think if you follow this at all, you know where I'm going. Aaron Davenport.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising.
I pray nobody takes him. Obviously, my favorite player in all of minor league baseball. Probably all of baseball, if we're being honest. Aaron Davenport.
Boy,
countless things about him, man. I mean, he's great. He took a little step back this year, but he did make the jump from AA to AAA, so you got to have that in mind too. But I would say Davenport, obviously top of the list for me. Abney's a great arm out of the bullpen. Same with Tanner Burns. They stick out. Dylan DeLucia. He can give some good innings. Tommy Mace, he's hit or miss, but again, a solid arm that we've had. Will Dion, he's been here for a minute. Steven Perez, another guy that could be big time. That could be scary.
That's huge.
That could be scary. So I'd say those are the big time pitchers that I'd be worried about. Outfield, again, solid bats, but nobody jumping off the page to where you're scared of losing them. Milan Tolentino, to be honest, I think is the only really position player I'd be scared of losing in the Rule 5 draft, just because what he's been able to do. But yeah, I would just say those guys. And if any scouts are listening, probably not, but if you are, Jack Leftwich, he is amazing. You guys got to jump on him immediately. Nate, we hammered it home last year. Jack Leftwich is the pick for this. You great. Guys better take him. He's awesome. Won't be disappointed, man. Take him.
Yeah, he's great. And now all the scouts, and now that all the scouts are reporting, we are being facetious.
Yep.
Joe Lampe is one to me, and Wilfredo Antunes is another one that I'm like, okay, I'd be kind of sad to see him go. He made some pretty good strides last year, but other than that, I think you hit the nail on the head. Biggest guy, though, out of everybody here, of course, other than the three that we said that got protected, Steven Perez. That's the big one for me. With the way that he pitched last year, I'd be shocked if he doesn't get taken.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you just look at, I haven't looked at any of the other farm systems and what they have out, but you would think Perez would be a round 1 pick. In my opinion, I think he could be top 10 in this draft, which isn't good for us. Obviously, it is for him. Go get a start at a team that thinks really highly of you. Not to say the Guardians don't, but if you're taking this guy in the top 5 pick of the Rule 5 draft, and obviously if you're picking that high, your team's not the best, we'll put it that way. So he could get a real quick chance to start for a team like that. So yeah, pitching, you got a lot of guys at risk here. Trenton Denholm, another one. I don't know how I missed him, but that's another guy. So you just got a lot of guys, and you just hope the damage is limited. And it was last year. We lucked out somehow. Hopefully we luck out again.
So the Guardians did take Will Wilson last year. And it's always tough to gauge, tell if teams are going to take in the Rule 5 draft, because you can pass in round 1. You could be like, nope, we're good. we're going to sit back and watch the fire. You can do that. Or again, you can do what the Rockies did a couple years ago and pick 12 different players. And what you can do is, while it is not legal and frowned upon, I mean, there's nothing stopping teams from colluding and saying, hey, let's attack this farm system. Let's see what happens.
Well, I find it hilarious is like later you get into the draft, like with the case with the Rockies, there were, I want to say the last 6 rounds of that draft, they'll go round 7 of the Rule 5 draft to start. The Rockies take whatever. Round 8 we'll start with the Rockies. They'll take, and then they'll just keep going. So it's kind of fun to watch. Last year they streamed it for the first time, I want to say. It used to just be audio only. Last year they actually streamed it on MLB Network. I assume they do the same this year.
Depends on how the numbers looked. I know we were watching it because we live streamed it last year, and no promises, but that might be something that we do again. Maybe.
Hopefully.
Potentially.
I haven't seen a time on when it is.
Yeah, with more people from Baseball Banter, we could be streaming that. Who knows? We'll see. I haven't pitched the idea. Maybe I just did. We'll see. There are a couple of really surprising omissions from other organizations. Blaze Jordan is a corner infielder from the Cardinals that hit 270, 450 slugging, 19 homers, nearly 100 RBIs. Another first baseman out of the Braves, David McCabe. That name should sound a little bit familiar. 275 average, 14 homers, 71 RBIs. Good bat there. Blake Burkhalter, 3.32 ERA, 88 Ks over 103 innings. He's a pretty highly sought after prospect in the Braves organization. Yohendrick Pinango out of the Blue Jays, 15 homers. He's an outfielder, 258 batting average. And then Hayden Mullins, a lefty from the Red Sox, 221 ERA and 123 strikeouts over 101 innings pitched as a starter. Andrew Pintar is another. So the point being, there are guys that get left unprotected across every single organization. Every single organization that get left unprotected. So the Guardians are not alone in that. Your favorite team, you could probably look at the list and think, if you know your prospect farm, why didn't we protect this guy? And the Guardians still have 2 other spots. Taven, I get the sense that they're going to try to use it. Maybe they protect one more prospect and maybe they maybe they pick up one player in free agency. But let's start to dive into a slight Guardians preview, as we will do that more in a later show. Thank you, Jeremy. Yes, we can talk more about the Rule 5 draft. So as the team currently constitutes, Taven, let's take a look at a projected starting lineup here for this team. A projected starting lineup could look a little something like this, okay? Top of the line, you got Steven Kwan leading off in left, George Valera in right field. Could he be the solution to this right field issue that the Guardians have going on? Okay, we'll see. He's in right, batting second. Jose. Duh, okay? We all know where Jose is going to play. Third in the order, third base. Kyle Manzardo, batting cleanup, playing first base. EOP can be a little bit more consistent next year.
Yep.
Then center field gets interesting. To me, I would go with Angel Martinez, although you could throw Chase DeLauder in that ring as well. So one of those 2 guys, you can have them batting fifth. If it's Angel Martinez, maybe you switch the lineup around a little bit. Gabriel Arias at shortstop. He came around with the bat last year, showed some good flashes, so maybe you play him there. CJ Kayfus as your designated hitter. You can throw David Fry into that ring as well. Bo Naylor behind the plate. Same thing with Austin Hedges. And then Brian Rocchio at second base. He moved over from shortstop and still had a phenomenal glove despite his really weird struggling path last season. So that's what a projected starting lineup could look like. As far as what a potential pitching rotation looks like, I just saw something about the depth in this bullpen right now. Your closer, Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis as your setup guy. Eric Sabrowski can be another one of those. Tim Herron, Andrew Walters, Zach Kent, long relief, Nick Casey, Logan Allen. Maybe you're looking at some of the prospects down there in that farm. Zach Kent, Matt Festa as some other guys that you can throw in there. And as far as the starting pitching rotation, Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on so many names right now.
Ciccone.
Yep, Saccone. There you go.
Logan Allen, Gavin Williams, Tanner
Yep.
Bobby,
Logan Allen.
Slade Saccone, and there's a fifth that my brain is fogging.
Cantillo.
Cantillo,
Yep.
Parker Messick, you can throw in there as well.
And
you have
then
Yorman Gomez there.
potentially a guy we forgot about. I don't know how long he's out, but Ben Lively, do we still have him?
He is not on the 40 man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let me see. Let me see.
That's a good
Because
question.
Ben Lively would not be making a minor league contract.
Coming back. When is John Means going to be?
He's gone. He's in free agency.
We signed him for nothing.
Dagnabbit, because he was part of that trade that netted us Saccone, right?
I think he was just a signing with the hope that he would pitch in a postseason run and then just never did.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, that's right. The Saccone trade was just him for Naylor straight up. That was just a dump salary.
Yeah. On top of that, Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz are dead cap players right now of around $5 million combined, and we still owe $1 million to Miles Straw because of that. Because of that. Yeah, that luxurious contract. Yeah, I know. Currently, right now, about $70 million put on the payroll. That is with the dead cap and everything of the like. The Guardians have pre-arbitration with pretty much everybody and avoided arbitration with Nolan Jones, David Fry, and Matt Festa for the time being. Again, pre-arbitration with a ton of guys. Median age of this team, I mean, still really, really young. You only got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that are in their 30s and a bunch of guys that are in their mid-20s, 24, 25, 26, some 27. They're all looking to be in that realm. So how do we feel about the Guardians as they are currently constituted? And what would you like to see them do? We'll dive more into this specifically in a full Guardians preview. So just some quick thoughts here.
Ethan, you go ahead.
I didn't want to be rude here. Look, as it stands, we've got some holes in the lineup. Our batting average was abysmal last year. The fact that we made the run that we made and came all the way back to win the division and make it to the playoffs was unreal and amazing. And as evidence of that, Stephen Vogt was named manager of the year for the second year in a row. And we did it was a masterclass there just to get through all that. I mean, obviously the Tigers had to stumble a lot, but we put it together and did what we needed to do. But then when we made that playoff series, it was evident what we were lacking. And the fact that we were putting a guy out in center field for the first time ever was kind of a sign of what we were dealing with. We've got to fix that. This lineup has got to find some pop, and we've got to get back to getting Stephen Kwan. He needs to be able to survive a whole season. He's slowed down by the end of the season, and he keeps doing that year after year. He'll start off strong, and then by the end of the year, he is running on fumes. He has to be a table setter. He's got to get on base. He needs to steal bases, put some pressure on opposing pitchers. And my best frame of reference, and I know I'm going old here, is talking about a guy like Kenny Lofton. You think of a leadoff hitter in Cleveland baseball history where you can say, this guy got on base. He was great defensively. He was able to steal bases. We've got to have that sort of thing. You have to protect Jose Ramirez. And look at it. If you do, watch his numbers go up. It was a mess at first base last year. Defensively, we're weak there. It was a mess in right field. Again, no power hitter. Bo Naylor made some strides toward the end of the season, but the fact that, did he hit worse than Austin Hedges and he's not as good defensively? I'm like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. I like our pitching rotation. When you listed those pitchers, Nate, the first thing I thought was I would not have listed. I know you didn't do it in any particular order, but Tanner Bibee is not one. He is not the number one pitcher in this rotation.
I'll cut you off rudely. At the top of it, I think it's Gavin Williams.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I agree with that. So that's what I'm saying. So I think, though, as a whole, our starting rotation is very good. We have a very good bullpen. Certainly, Cade Smith came in and did an amazing job. To have our season kind of thrown upside down with that Clase news, after Ortiz, I mean, that was nuts. And that could have tore the entire clubhouse up. So for them to be able to piece it all together was just fantastic. I'm going to be very interested to see what they do. If anything, I don't expect much. I've kind of kept my bar very low in thinking about what moves they could make to potentially improve the lineup and the roster. I know it's not going to be any big name in free agency. It might be some guy who's a retread who we could bring along. Maybe he's been injured. It is what it is. And I know we're going to have more to talk about as we get closer to the season. The fact that the TV rights and that like ESPN is like got the TV rights deal and all that sort of stuff. And ultimately, guys, I think we need to have a candid discussion about where are things headed when this labor agreement comes up, and what might happen to not only the Guardians but just all of professional baseball if in fact there's a work stoppage and a strike. But those are my just kind of general thoughts on the matter.
Taven, we'll go to you.
Yeah. For moves that they need to make, I don't know. I haven't expected anything, kind of like Ethan said. I mean, I want to say the last big move they made was Josh Bell, and that kind of killed them.
Flopped.
And yeah, obviously they're scared to do anything. Not like they have the money to begin with, but I've expected two things this offseason. One, you re-sign Austin Hedges. That already happened. And two, you get a bullpen arm or potentially a starter kind of on edge with Jacob Junis. That move last year. I think there's two things that are going to happen, one of which will be an average reliever or starter, and the other one's going to be your cheerleader in the clubhouse, and one of which already happened. You got Hedges wrapped up. Again, all-star behind the plate. Unfortunately, he is one of the worst hitters I've ever seen in my entire life. So got to be able to do both to some degree, and he's only one side. But yeah, free agency, don't expect much. But this team, obviously, you have the minor league guys that we've talked about. You got guys coming up like Messick, Kafis. They already made their impact felt in that playoff series. You got guys like Chase DeLauder who are making an impact. So I think you're good for next year with kind of what you have. It seems like this team's every other year, and it has been since 2018. Every other year you make the playoffs. This year was a year you snapped that streak, but it seems like every other year you're there kind of competing for the division the entirety of the season. You're not great in the middle. I think next year you're pretty solid all the way through. Just got to see what happens in the playoffs. It kind of just comes down to that at this point. We know this team can compete every year. There's no doubt about that. It's when you get to the playoffs, are you able to bring it all together? And I think that's where you see you need some experience. You can't rely on the prospects. They need that experience. I think we have it now, but we'll see.
Here's the big question that the Guardians have got to answer, and I'll probably tease the answer a little bit here. Is this an offseason where you even think about diving into the checkbook a little bit? That is the massive question that you have got to answer. And I feel like Taven and I, maybe you as well, Ethan, feel like this is a very pivotal point in this round of Guardians prospects. Chase DeLauder is running out of time until you have got to get him up there. Travis Bazzana, still early, but with the way that he's projected, he's probably going to see Cleveland at some point next year and play in a middle infield spot. There are a ton of other guys that are sitting down there in the minor league system just waiting for their moment to come up. I mean, you saw a taste of George Valera last year. You saw barely a crumb of P.D. Halpin last season, so on and so forth. But when you especially talk about DeLauder and Bazzana, those are two pivotal guys in the organization right now. And if you want them to come into a situation where they are going to be competing every single day and competing every single year at the highest level they possibly can, you got to put something around them. So there are a ton of names floating out there that would be, for the Guardians, very big spenders, tons of relief pitchers. Kazuma Okamoto is a guy that people are looking at in Japan as someone that can be brought over. So, and there's a ton of numbers and figures floating around for him on what he might be worth. But if the Guardians are not even willing to dive into the pocketbooks a little bit, even into the couch cushions, guys, like I'm not talking you to get in your desk drawer and sign a big check, like get in the couch cushions and see what you can find. If you got $1 million or $2 or $5 that you scrape together, go sign somebody, go get a need that we can get. We'll see what the Guardian organization does. And I think as we get further along here in this process, there is always the potential that this team makes a trade out of nowhere. I think the biggest one that many people, for the right reasons, are concerned about being gone is Steven Kwan. There was the conversation about him being traded at the trade deadline. He is a free agent. Oh, I just closed the Spot Track thing. He is a free agent. I will pull it up here in a minute. In 28, and Hedges is a free agent in 27. So you only have 2 more years of tender left with Steven Kwan.
Yeah.
Do we look at what they did here with Josh Naylor? Maybe even if they keep him next year, then they flip him this year. Or, hey, his value is still high. If he continues to do this thing that Ethan has said where he is gone down the line, you could just tell that something wasn't right with Steven Kwan last year. There was something that was hurting him or whatever. If he continues on that downward trend, his value is going to get worse. So do they flip him now while his value is high before they have to sign him to a long contract, get rid of some of that cap hit, get some more prospects, and keep developing this farm, which is the pattern that the Guardians have always found themselves in? Do they continue on the same pattern, or do they finally change something? Because you have a manager in Stephen Vogt. Look, even the best managers are going to get flack for some of the decisions, and the Game 1 lineup was a problem. That the Game 1 lineup against Detroit was a problem. But even the best of the best managers are going to get flack for why you did this decision, why you're keeping this guy around, and so on and so forth. He just won Manager of the Year back-to-back. He is the first manager ever in his first managerial position to do that. We have a special guy in Stephen Vogt. You've got to give him a team that can be competitive every single day and at the highest level. There's no question this team can be competitive every single day as constructed. You want to compete at the highest level, you'll scrape some money together.
Right. You know what? I think I heard a conversation with the Dolans, and I think it went something like this.
I do not have the money. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that could be. Oh God, this is why Ethan's on the show, folks. This is why he's here.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest part that's frustrating is, like, I'm not asking you to go out and sign, Josh Naylor. Not saying like he's the highest end free agent, but even a Josh Naylor, I'm not expecting you to go out and sign, or an Anthony Santander. Just re-sign the guy that you have that everybody loves in Stephen Kwan, right? I mean, this is a move that I was saying should have happened after his rookie year. I said 80 mil, 8 years, lock him up now. Might have been premature at the time, but it would have paid off at the moment.
Deal now. It would look
No,
like
it looked like a fantastic deal now. It's only $1.5 million more than what he's got now.
Exactly. So you gotta lock him down, man. And that's just the biggest thing. And I don't think he's a guy that really is chasing money. I think he's a hometown guy like Jose who likes his team a lot. And I think he would give you a discount. Now, you're not going to get him for $5 million, but reach into the pockets, spend a little bit. And I'm not saying go out there and spend $300 million like the Yankees, but you got to get over 70. All I'm asking is 85 or 90, which isn't even that big of an ask.
100 would be fantastic, but it won't happen.
Oh my God, it'd be awesome.
If you put Stephen Kwan on a 5-year, $15 million annual contract, that's 5 years, 65 million. No, that's 5 years, 75 million. Go. Okay. I'm cool with that. Now, but you gotta give those two guys some help here. And God forbid this team, if they're going to spend money, they're going to spend it in the bullpen. I know they will because that's just the way this organization is run. But if they spend money at all, it's got to be within this lineup. Young guys like George Valera. Hey, we'll see what he can do next year. If he explodes, boy, that's fantastic. If Chase DeLauter is going to explode next year, that's fantastic. Brian Rocchio, if he's going to be playoff Rocchio, that's for an entire year. That's fantastic. Angel Martinez, we saw some great stuff out of him. What if David Fry is back to an all-star? There are so many questions around this team and about this lineup, but if you add anything, you've got to add a bat and a bat with power.
Yep. Look, like I said earlier, this may all come down to what is going to happen when this labor agreement is up. And at that juncture,
when does it end? After this year?
I believe it's after the 26th season. And the question then is, what is going to happen with the Guardians ownership? Is Dolan going to sell the team fully to Blitzer? And we can hope for that. But let me ask you this, guys, though. Unless Blitzer has a crap ton of money, how is he going to, where is the revenue coming from? We're not getting a giant TV contract. And you know what I'm saying? And so,
well,
as a business person, unless you're willing to just spend and spend and spend and spend from your own money, it's tough. And I get it, but that's all part of the bigger problem. I don't want to get into all that because there's no point in discussing it right now. That's another day, another 5-hour conversation about
we might,
the problems with the system of baseball and the salary situation.
Well, and we won't dive into this. Maybe we can do this during the Guardians preview, but ESPN did buy the rights. Whether we think that's good or bad, that's going to bring some money into the team in some way or another.
It's still, and I think it's still the MLB production that we had last year. It's just part of an under ESPN.
ESPN Plus, I bet. And it'll still black you out because that's just great.
I did enjoy the CLE Guardians TV last year, only $100, and it was a great value. Great value.
Yeah.
Plus, I was able to sync up, listen to the radio call, even while watching it on TV, which was fantastic because I really prefer listening to Hamilton. Although during the 4th and 5th innings, I might have tuned out when Rosie was on.
Yeah, don't blame you there. But yeah, okay. So any other final hitting thoughts here? The people are probably getting tired. People want to hunker down in bed. So, and again, we're going to dive into the majority of the Guardians preview, take a look at the lineup, talk about what this guy's got to do, what that guy's got to do, who needs to break out, who they need to go sign, and even some potential targets for who they might go out and get if they spend money. And that's a big if.
Have the money, okay?
Again, big if. Big if.
Big if.
An hour 48. 5 of you right now in the live chat, and I know people have been diving in and out on YouTube. Now over 50 of you that have tuned in through Twitter, and hopefully a lot more of you that will be diving back in, rewatching this one. Sunday nights are going to be our nights here on POTL. And hey, during the season, you can come right back here. And while you got Sunday night baseball on the TV, tune into us during the season if you want to know whatever is going on around the Guardians minor league system. And we always talk guard ball on this show. Ethan, welcome officially to the podcast. Taven, it's so good to see you. So good to be back. Ethan, we'll start with you. We all do way more stuff outside of baseball banter. And for one final time, we are appreciative to Jeremy Laraquente for giving us this opportunity, having us be a part of the show. We're really excited about it. Already met some phenomenal people. But Ethan, where can the people find you and everything else that you do?
Well, you can follow along on my social media on Twitter or X. I'll just go with Twitter because I really don't care to call it X because I think it's dumb. But
Same.
At egreen4325. I post a lot of stuff on there for what I am up to. I'll be up there at Randolph-Macon for the women's basketball season, and then I will be doing some alternate play-by-play broadcasts of Cavs games on Playback TV. Be sure to tune into that. Plus the Going Nuclear podcast, where we cover everything going on in Cleveland sports, Ohio State, even get into some action. And something else that there's coming down the pike here that I'm going to be, working on in the very near future on another Cleveland franchise. And I'll let other people make an announcement, but something else is coming on that I'm going to be part of, which I'm really, really looking forward to.
Yeah. Did see that. I won't spoil it, so won't do that. Taven, where can the people find you?
Yeah, personal, I want to say on Instagram at McCully Taven, and Stark Sports Coverage right there below the name for everything Stark County sports. Got some big games coming up too in the football world, wrapping things up. Should have some state championship coverage as well this week. 2 big games in the area. Walsh Jesuit, the number 2 seed, taking on the number 3 Avon. 2 good teams always there, and Indian Valley versus Glenville. So you got two good matchups there, and then basketball season's right upon us. I mean, it's the best when it comes to high school sports around this area, and you got some powerhouses. So everything you need to know is going to be there.
Well, we'll close it at Tailgate Nate 29, where you can find me, Twitter, Instagram. You're a college football fan, follow Tailgate Nate on YouTube. I also work at a commercial radio station in Bell Fountain, Ohio. Listen in on peakofohio.com. We do football broadcast. One of our local teams still alive. Have that game on Friday. I do the post-game show. So tune to me on 98.3, do morning, afternoon news on 106.9 The Bull, and a lot of sports. We're starting to cover basketball, doing some color commentary, maybe play-by-play later on as well as, again, just all the other stuff that we get up to. Follow us wherever you may find us, and follow the Baseball Banter broadcast for everything going on. Yankees, Cardinals, Braves, and Guardians. I know we got some more markets digging in there as well for all the happenings around Major League Baseball. And this show, Prospects of the Land, Twitter, Instagram at Prospects, capital OTL, especially Instagram. Go follow us over there throughout the week. We hope to be putting up these podcast clips on those social medias, even tagging some of the athletes and stuff in there as well. Guys, anything else? We have crossed hour 52. So for those of you that have stuck with us the whole way, boy, you are some troopers, but we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one last thing, one last question on my end.
Oh God.
I got a number in front of me, Nate. 2,185. Does Michigan make it a 5-peat?
Nope.
That's how many days it's been.
Nope.
Since you got to taste victory.
I don't care. I do not care. And y'all backed out of the COVID season. We would have beat you there anyway. No, it's going to be a fantastic game. Only thing I hope is Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate are healthy. Really not too worried about it. They got kept out of Rutgers for precautionary stuff. And this team has looked like a wagon all year, and you haven't even seen the best version of this Buckeye team. It's hate week, so we love hate week. We love hate week.
Yeah. There it is.
There it is.
Okay, cool. Well, again, official number as of right now, 53 on the old Twitter machine. And as far as YouTube goes, 5 of you in there right now. And yeah, so we will we'll get off here. We have more than exhausted our time, but you can find the replay of this one always on X, and it'll be on Baseball Banter broadcast as well. We look forward to all the opportunities moving forward, and next one up will either be the Rule 5 draft, or we will set a date and do a little Guardians season preview. We'll make some graphics and put everything out. Sound good, gentlemen?
Sounds great, sir.
Well, Taven, we will let you sign us out. You were the one that introduced us, so you sign us out and get the people on 9:30 local time here in the eastern part of the States. We hope you all had a great day and a happy Thanksgiving. Taven, or we'll start with Ethan. Ethan, what's one thing you're thankful for?
Thankful for all of my podcast peeps and being healthy, and that's about the best I can ask for. Family, friends, and a good year that we've had. Looking forward to some turkey.
Family, friends, food, my wonderful girlfriend, and everything else that I have going on in my life. Truly appreciate all the people and all the opportunities that I've been able to garner now in my collegiate career and now in my professional career. Taven, your thanks, and you can sign us out of here.
Family, friends, health, everything that you've hit on, opportunities I've gotten, work with some great people in the media world this year. So obviously got to throw that in, and we'll throw Aaron Davenport in there too. Why not?
Okay, sure. And thankful for the Scarlet and Gray.
And a big blue. All right. Well, we appreciate all the number in front of my face right now. All 59 of you for sticking with us.
We like it.
Little pop-up stream, right? We knew we were getting the awards. Didn't know when. Finally put out the tweet this morning. So appreciate everybody for sticking with us. Finally wrapped up what was a great season. Our first full year on the podcast. We had some ups, some downs. But hey,
we'll be back in March, man. In March.
We'll be back in March. We plan to bring you some interviews throughout the year too. And again, we'd like to thank Jeremy and everything that he's done for us, and just ready to work with him. And that's pretty much it from us. So we'll see everybody down the stretch. Keep the notifications on and an eye out on the X and Instagram for any updates, for anything coming up in the future. And we'll see everybody then.
Guardians preview up next.